Good evening and welcome inside Judy Walden Scarefile Field here at McKeon Park here in Hyannis, Massachusetts. Austin DeCouta alongside Lincoln Revill. Once again, Lincoln, as we get ready to host the Brewster Whitecaps as they come to town. Hyannis coming off an impressive win as we discussed on the pregame show last night. Lincoln, we're just moments away from first pitch here. Lincoln, how you feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling really good after that first win against the Cotuit Cavaliers, our first win in the Patriot Cup for the 2021 season. You have to have a good feeling about it heading into this game against the Brewster Whitecaps. And really, I'm ready for a good night of baseball. Hopefully the rain stays away, and we're just ready to go.
Well, Lincoln, the Whitecaps are about ready to take their first plate appearances. But first, who is in that Whitecap lineup tonight?
Yeah, going through the Brewster lineup, we have Gavin Cross starting off. He'll be the designated hitter, followed by Porter Brown. Colin Davis in the 3-hole playing in center field. Jake Thompson will be batting fourth, followed by Cooper Weiss playing third base. Richie Schiekhofer will be in right field. He'll be followed by Nick Biddison playing second base. Curtis Byrne batting in the 9-hole playing catcher, and Alex Freeman will be bringing up the 9-hole. He'll be playing shortstop, and that is Freeland, not Freeman, just to clarify.
All right, sounds like a pretty talented roster. We'll take you through that in just a moment. But first, we have the Hyannis Harbor Hawk lineup who will be up in the bottom of the first inning. Leading off tonight is Caden Rose for the first time this season. He'll be in center field, followed by Mitchell Hardigan in the 2-hole. He'll be playing left field tonight. Batting third is the catcher from Clemson, Adam Hackenberg. And the cleanup spot is the third baseman, Mason Greer. Batting fifth is Marcos Pujols. He'll be back at first base tonight. Batting sixth is Zane Harris, the designated hitter. Batting in the 7-hole is the shortstop, Kyle Ball. And batting eighth is Dominic Johnson, who had the 2-run home run last night against Cotuit. He'll be in right field for the first time this season. And in the 9-hole tonight is Mariano Ricciardi, and he'll be at second base with Andrew Baker on the mound, the right-handed pitcher getting the start for the Harbor Hawks tonight. We're just moments away from first pitch here from Judy Walden Scarefile Field. We'll be back with you in just a moment on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Welcome back, fans, inside Judy Walden Scarefile Field. Austin DeCouta joined by Lincoln Revill. Lincoln, we're moments away from first pitch here in Hyannis. The Brewster Whitecaps getting ready to step to the plate. They're 0-1-1 on the season, but they bring a pretty solid lineup to the plate. We just discussed it in the pregame show a bit, but on the mound today for the Hyannis Harborhawks is Andrew Baker, a right-handed pitcher standing 6'3". Lincoln, what do we know about Andrew Baker?
Well, Andrew Baker coming to us from Chipola Junior College, NJCAA player. He's had 15 appearances in the 2021 season for Chipola, and in that time he went with a 7-2 record, 7 wins, 2 losses, 57.1 innings pitched, and in that time he had a 3.45 ERA, and he notched 92 strikeouts in just 57 innings. Very impressive there.
Definitely a strikeout pitcher. He's going to feature that fastball today. We saw about 92 to 94 we've been told that he can touch on the radar gun. We will have updates for you throughout the game on his pitch speed. The defense for the Harborhawks tonight sees Poolhouse at first, Ricciardi at second, Kyle Ball back at short, and Mason Greer at third. Adam Hackenberg doing the catching. A little bit of a change in the outfield. Mitchell Hardigan still in left, but Caden Rose and Dominic Johnson have flipped as Rose is in center for tonight's game with Johnson in right field. Pretty solid crew out there. Once again, Lincoln, a few of the regular starters again, mostly the same infield with Ricciardi and Ball up the middle. Poolhouse and Zane Harris have flipped that DH and first base the first couple of games. We've seen a mix of catchers. Hackenberg, one of 3 so far who has played. We had Dylan Post earlier, Caleb Pendleton in a couple of games as Hackenberg throws down to Ricciardi, and we're moments away as a leadoff hitter for the Whitecaps. Gavin Cross, the designated hitter, gets ready to dig in. Home plate umpire tonight is Jeff Kinney. Over at first is David Perry. And at third, Mike Beal.
For the Brewster Whitecaps, the designated hitter from Virginia Tech, number 28, Gavin Cross.
Gavin Cross digging in from the left side tonight, coming to us from Virginia Tech. 6'3", 210 pounds, lots of power and size. 0 for 6 on the season. The first pitch of the night is lined out of play. First pitch swinging in 97 on the radar gun there.
Wow. Now that's some speed that you could see from a closer, but you don't see that very often at this level from a starter.
Impressive, especially coming out in the first inning. 97 again, 2 in a row at 97 from Andrew Baker.
Now this is the first time this season that we've seen a pitcher that can throw that hard. We might have seen maybe one other in Bourne the other night, but I think this might be the first time we've seen a pitcher that can throw over 95.
That'd be correct. 97, I think the fastest pitch thrown. We didn't see that last night either. That was 97 at the eyes there to Gavin Cross, but finding the control early on, the 2-1. Trying to get the outside corner, but too far in the right-handed batter's box. Count 3-1.
Yeah, that elusive outside corner that we mentioned so many times last night. You just have to find that very fine line on that outside corner, and both pitchers had a hard time finding that line last night.
Comes back with another fastball, and Cross was just a tick behind it to bring the count at full at 3-2. Cloudy night here in Hyannis as rain showers are in the area, and the first batter of the game goes down on strikes as Hackenberg hangs on to the foul tip, and Andrew Baker battles back for the first punch out.
It's a beautiful fastball outside part of the plate, and great job there from Hackenberg, catching that foul tip a lot harder than it looks. And just a great job from there, great job from him keeping that hand strong and grabbing that ball.
And with 1 away, that brings in the 2-hitter, Porter Brown, another left-hander. And the first pitch, another fastball, 98 miles per hour on that one.
Wow.
As Andrew Baker is coming out with a lot of fastballs early on and a lot of speed behind them. The 0-1 pitch. Went off speed, but it was too far outside. 1-1, the count evens up. Andrew Baker wearing number 4 this season for Hyannis. Hackenberg gives the sign, the 1-1. Same pitch, but this time it missed high. 2-1 the count, so he's fallen behind the first 2 batters. Was able to battle back and get the punch out on Gavin Cross. We'll see what he can do here to Porter Brown, the outfielder from TCU.
Now something a little unusual here is that Gavin Cross and Porter Brown combined 0 for 10 on the season so far. Something you don't see very often, hit 2 hitters that have yet to have a hit this season in the top 2 spots in the lineup.
Very early on here as the guys are finding their groove. Many of them just came up and joined A week prior to the start of the season, the 2-2 is another off-speed pitch outside. Count goes full again. First two batters, Baker has gone full count. First one a strikeout. We'll see what the result is here to Brown. In 2021, in his collegiate season, he batted .342, so the guy can hit but can't connect on the changeup, or another fastball, excuse me. At 95 there, we see on the scoreboard, out in right center field for out number 2. Had some movement to that fastball down to the zone.
It did, yes. Just a lot of movement, and combined with all that speed, very difficult to hit. A beautiful pitch there. And 2 great outs. He's gone the distance, so he's getting his money's worth, but outs nonetheless, and hopefully the third one coming up soon.
Baker piled up the strike and steps the catcher Adam Hackenberg, making his first start of the season. He pinch hit last night and ended up staying in the game defensively for the second half of the ball game. Catcher from Clemson.
Hackenberg ended 0 for 1. He had a fly out in the 6th and reached on a walk in the 8th and ended up scoring a run.
He came home on the wild pitch pass ball sequence in the bottom of the 8th, which allowed Hyannis to plate 2 runs on the same play.
Yeah, the Cavaliers decided to play a little bit of a hot potato late in the game and lets 2 runs score on a pass ball that only should have scored 1.
Hackenberg will be a senior at Clemson. Can't connect on a fastball. Now the count evens up at 1-1. 1-2 rather, excuse me. Hackenberg wearing number 25. He has the Clemson gear when he's behind the plate. 1-2. Stays alive by fouling off another fastball as Rutkowski sits at 92, it seems. Rutkowski, a left-handed pitcher from Rutgers University.
As we mentioned, go ahead. As we mentioned last night, Hackenberg has a couple of family members playing pro sports. He had his brother Christian. He got drafted by the Jets in the NFL draft, and also has a family member playing for Orlando City SC, playing pro soccer.
Very athletic family. As Hackenberg calls time, he'll wait for his pitch. Rutkowski, the pitcher for the Whitecaps, was selected by the Reds in the 28th round of the 2017 MLB draft, a guy who's on a lot of scouts' radars here at the ballpark today. Always get a good handful of scouts behind home plate with their radar guns and taking notes on all these prospects. As the alumni list from the Cape League grows every season, Connor Wong, a former Born Brave, was just recently recalled by the Boston Red Sox from the 2016 team. The full count. Cut on and miss. Hackenberg goes down on strikes in a pitcher's duel early on. 6 up, 6 down between the two teams. Top of the second coming up in just a moment. Welcome back as we await the top of the second to begin. Jake Thompson due up to lead it off for the Whitecaps. 4-5-6 due up. It's Thompson, Weiss, and Schieckhofer.
The first baseman from Oklahoma State, number 17, Jake Thompson.
Thompson, the first baseman from Oklahoma State. A junior, standing at 6 feet tall. Attended Albert Lee High School. First pitch of the inning. Swung on, foul tipped, and hung on to by the catcher Hackenberg at 96 miles an hour. Andrew Baker struck out the side in order for Hyannis to begin the ball game. The 0-1 pitch. Outside for a ball. 89 on that one. Maybe a changeup. Quiet night at the ballpark tonight, Lincoln. As gray clouds loom overhead.
Yeah, a lot less people coming here tonight than there was at last night's game. But yeah, the rain has definitely put a damper on tonight's crowd. There's a big chance coming up before the night is over.
That one is hit well to deep right field. Johnson turns around and watches this one go. It's a solo home run off the bat of Jake Thompson, and the Whitecaps have jumped out to an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he saw that fastball and he caught up with it and sent that one flying. And with that velocity, that just brings more pop off the bat and just a beautiful hit. And there was really nothing that Johnson could do about it as he ran to the warning track and just watched it go.
The next batter for Brewster, the third baseman from
Baker had struck out the first 3 batters in order, but the cleanup man Thompson makes him pay. Got a fastball and did not miss it.
And there's a reason that Thompson is the cleanup hitter. If there had been a runner on base, cleaning the bases was his specialty, as we just saw.
That brings up Cooper Weiss, the third baseman from Coastal Carolina, a sophomore. 2 for 7 on the year. He does have a home run and an RBI. 1 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. Had that homer on opening night.
Yeah, I went 1 for 3 yesterday against the Bourne Braves. The Whitecaps ended up losing that game by a score of 9-1. They're actually winless on the season so far. They had a loss last night, that 9-1 loss against the Braves, and then they had a tie, 5-5 tie with the YD Red Sox.
One of the rule changes put into place this year by the Cape Cod Baseball League. The ball game ends after 9 innings, no extra innings. Another rule change is postponed games due to rainouts are not made up. So tonight we will play on, hoping to get in a game before the rain comes. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Weiss, and after a perfect start, Baker has allowed 2 base runners to reach in a row.
Yeah, and you see this happen a lot more than you would like. A pitcher in the first inning shuts down every batter he sees, 3 up, 3 down, and just throws perfectly. And then the next 2 batters get on base somehow, as we've seen a home run and a walk. So he just needs to find that groove that he had in the first inning.
In steps Richie Schieckhofer, the right fielder. Takes a ball at the bottom of the zone. He's from Rutgers, a left-handed hitting outfielder. In 2021 at Rutgers, he hit .316 with a .403 on-base percentage, 21 runs batted in. Solid lead at first by Weiss, excuse me. Baker's gonna have to keep an eye on him. He got a few extra steps off first there.
Remember, fans, thanks to the Marc family, you can keep that foul ball tonight.
Another announcement that every foul ball caught by a fan can be kept. So you might see a couple of races, maybe a little bit of wrestling for those foul balls.
You never know. I didn't see anybody go attempt to get the Thompson home run. There's a lot of shrubbery and woods out there in the outfield. The foul balls are more attainable, I think.
Oh, yeah, I had to go out in that shrubbery the first day we were here, actually, and it was tough to move around. Lots of overgrowth and just very dense.
It's a souvenir for somebody who wants it. Just have to work to get it. It's 321 down the right field line, 318 to left, and 390 to dead center. It's a good shot if you can get it out there. The 2-1. On the outside corner, called strike. We saw last night the outside pitch wasn't called too often for strikes. You see that one in the zone enough for Jeff Kinney.
Yeah, he found that perfect. He found that fine line that I've mentioned so many times in the past couple of nights, and it's just a matter of remembering where that line is and hitting it consistently.
Long pause, the 2-2. Thought about it, but holds up. Pitches a called ball. As Baker glares in. Full count, nobody away.
Now, if I were Hackenberg with Weiss getting such a big secondary over at first, I'd tell Pujols, after he gets off for that pitch, after it gets to Hackenberg, go ahead and get back.
That one's fouled off as Weiss was off before Baker even threw the pitch. So he's going to have to throw over or check in as Weiss is really moving.
You get that secondary, that's a great opportunity for a back pick, especially at first. It's just a matter of Pujols remembering to get back towards first in a hurry and before Weiss gets there.
Weiss has not had a stolen base this season, but had 6 over 2 years at college so far. Showing a little bit of confidence at first. A short lead this time, expecting a throw over. That one is fouled back again off towards the high school behind McKeon Park. Into the parking lot. I don't park behind home plate there, Lincoln. I'm going to try to avoid getting my windshield smashed by one of those foul balls.
No, definitely not. Team I worked with this past spring, actually the very first home game that we had, the very first foul ball at the home field, I made the mistake of parking down the first base line. Windshield got shattered.
That's a warm welcome. The runner's off on the pitch in Weiss, but it gets to the backstop for ball 4 anyway. So it's back-to-back walks issued by Baker, which puts runners on first and second with nobody away.
Yeah, just a complete turnaround from that first inning. 3 up, 3 down. And then the next 3 batters that he faces, still nobody out, and runners on first and second, and they're down 1-0 after that solo shot.
For Brewster, the second base for Virginia Tech, number 23, Nick Biddison.
Nick Biddison stepping in for the first time here for the Brewster Whitecaps. 1 for 4 in his first start of the year, which was in yesterday's ball game. Stole a base as well. Good speed all around in this Brewster lineup.
Baker and Biddison actually with a little bit of a friendly rivalry, I feel like, both coming from Virginia Tech.
Biddison tried to drop a bunt, but it was too far foul down the first base line. Baker, the right-hander from Chipola College, but announced on Twitter he's a signee of South Carolina.
Yeah, I was completely wrong about that. I sincerely apologize. I'm not sure where I got Virginia Tech from, so I do apologize for that.
We do have Virginia Tech at the plate there with
Nick
Biddison,
yes.
wearing number 23. Hit .235 with 2 homers, 14 RBI, 7 stolen bases on 8 attempts this season with Virginia Tech. Behind 0-2. That one's grounded to second base. Ricciardi takes a look at second, decides just to go to first as there was no play or no shot at 2. And they do get 1 out. An important first out in this inning.
Well, Biddison did his job. He got that ball right on the tip of his bat, but ended up extending both runners, and now the Whitecaps have 2 runners in scoring position with only 1 out, and a very good scoring chance for them as Curtis Byrne comes to the plate.
Here comes Curtis Byrne, the catcher for the Whitecaps. 0 for 4 on the season. All 4 at-bats resulted in a strikeout so far. Looking to change things around a bit. Got runners at second and third with 1 away. High and outside for ball 1. The infield is playing halfway in for the most part around the diamond. You have Greer at third, Ball at short, Ricciardi at second, and Pujols at first. Looking to eliminate a runner early as Weiss gets his lead at third. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled back straight off the brick backstop here at Judy Walden Scarefile Field.
Byrne, the freshman at Texas Christian University, TCU, down in Fort Worth, Texas.
Who was selected by the Cardinals in the 35th round of the 2019 MLB draft. Much like many of the players here have been selected already by an MLB team. A terrific block there by Hackenberg on a pitch that was spiked in front of home, and that saved a run. Beautiful technique there by the Clemson catcher as he sports the purple and orange gear.
You know the scouts are loving that. A catcher that can stop a pitch anywhere it hits, and just be able to get in front of that and keep a run from scoring.
Hackenberg does a great job at framing pitches as well. He can really stick it. Behind in the count, 2-1. Baker looking to locate a pitch here. Beautiful slider, and it finds the outside corner for a strike to even the count up at 2-2.
In Austin, I'm starting to see a few raindrops here on my laptop screen. I'm feeling a few as well. So the rain is coming.
Let's hope it just passes over us.
Hopefully.
The 2-2. Called strike 3, froze him on another slider. And Baker is 1 out away from battling out of this.
Yeah, that beautiful pitch there from Baker. And like I said, bringing that fastball in at 98 miles an hour and that slider in the low 80s, just such a big difference. And it's really dangerous for hitters. You never know what's coming, and when it comes, it's a huge difference.
Due up is Alex Freeland, the shortstop from Central Florida, 0 for 6 on the season, batting in the 9-hole today. Runners still on second and third, 2 away. The pitch. Freeland, first pitch swinging. He hits it to second base. Ricciardi's there. Throw on to Pujols in time. A solo homer off the bat of Jake Thompson gives the Whitecaps a 1-0 lead. We head to the bottom of the second. Back in a moment on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network.
For Brewster in the top of the second. 1 run, 1 hit. There was no Hyannis errors.
Due to the required COVID-19 protocols, the Cape Cod Baseball League and local Cape Cod health departments remind you that all unvaccinated persons should wear masks and socially distance wherever necessary. Wash your hands often with soap and water. If you're sick, please stay at home. We appreciate your cooperation and welcome back to Cape Cod Baseball. Fans, be sure to visit
Raindrops beginning to fall as we begin the bottom of the second inning here from Hyannis, Massachusetts. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill in the booth trying to stay dry as the wind is not cooperating with us. The bullpens are retreating into the dugouts. 4, 5, 6 to up for Hyannis this inning as long as the weather permits, and it's Mason Greer, the switch hitter, leading it off, or excuse me, the left-handed hitter leading it off.
And Greer, as we saw in Bourne the other night, if it can find his bat in the right spot, it can go quite a ways.
Behind in the count, 1-2 to Rutkowski. 2 for 3 on the season is Greer. He has a double on the year. The 1-2. Outside, 2-2, the count evens up. Greer, Pujols, and Harris do up for Hyannis. They're chasing one thanks to the Jake Thompson solo shot, and Greer's going to go down on strikes. The third Harbor Hawk down swinging so far in 4 batters for the first out of the bottom of the second, as my score sheet's getting pretty wet.
Yeah, I had to move off of the little table here as it's almost covered in water. I had to move off and get my stuff on a stool. But, yeah, Rutkowski actually, like you mentioned, 3 strikeouts in the first 4 batters of the game, 3 strikeouts in a row as the second, third, and fourth place batters have all gone down swinging.
In steps Marcos Pujols, the first baseman. We have found some bin covers to help us.
Do what you can with what you got, right?
Exactly. You make do. The wind is just not helping. If the wind was blowing the other way, we'd be in business.
Yeah, and there have been a couple times where it was blowing like blowing towards us, and then other times it was blowing towards the field, and those were very nice times.
Meanwhile, Pujols behind in the count 1-2. Marcos Pujols from the Dominican Republic attends Dayton, as some of the scouts are now starting to pack up.
Honestly, can't blame them. That little spot they are right above us, actually, not covered up. So they're definitely just trying to find a place to get dry.
Tries to shoot the outside corner, but just misses. 2-2.
Now, one thing is that whenever you get this is another thing the scouts are looking at. This rain actually probably a welcome sight by some of them, because one thing you have to notice is how well a pitcher can control his pitch in the rain. So we know that's a whole different setting with a wet ball. You have to know how to control your pitches.
Battle through a little bit of adversity here as we start to tuck away some equipment and the players start to retreat into the dugouts a little further.
Wait, yeah.
Pujols goes down swinging for out number 2. 4 consecutive batters retired on strikes by Rutkowski.
Wait, who's this?
Harrison Rutkowski, the left-handed pitcher from Rutgers, as we mentioned. His favorite MLB player is Jake DeGrom. His favorite team is the Mets, and Jake DeGrom is having himself one heck of a season so far, Lincoln.
Yeah, he is. Jacob DeGrom making a run both for MVP and for the Cy Young Award. He's definitely, I'd say he's a front runner for the award by now.
I mean, he is doing things that we've never seen done. Now, we talk about Shohei Ohtani, a guy who's, doing things we've never seen done. But DeGrom, to be a guy who's expected just to be a pitcher, we knew Ohtani could do a little bit of both, but DeGrom is only expected to pitch, and he's batting better than some hitters in the National League this year.
Yeah.
He's had more RBI than earned runs, an ERA under 1, under 0.7 last time I checked in on the Mets.
Yeah, it's just a unreal ERA, just incredibly low. And then that batting average, like you mentioned, higher than his ERA, higher than earned runs, and higher than some batters' batting averages. And really, that's something you never see from a pitcher. Just a batting average that high. Sure, they might get a hit here and there. We saw Bartolo Colon had that big home run, very memorable at bat for him. But yeah, you rarely ever see any hits or anything of that importance from a pitcher.
Zane Harris up now for the Harbor Hawks, ahead 3-1 in the count. Getting the start at DH tonight. Played first base last night. The 3-1 pitch to Harris. Outside, works a walk. Very patient hitter and does a nice job of getting on with 2 away in the inning.
Yeah, Harris, the first base runner for the Harbor Hawks tonight, and that ends a 4-strikeout streak for Rutkowski, and just a very impressive little bit of pitching there.
In steps the shortstop, Kyle Ball. 1 for 7 on the season with an RBI, a pair of walks, sporting a .333 on-base percentage in 2 games. First pitch swinging on the ground to first. Thompson takes it himself to the bag to end the inning. Harbor Hawks strand 1. The rain continues to fall from Hyannis. We're back for the top of the 3rd in just a few moments. We are back nonetheless, Lincoln. Austin DeCouta with Lincoln Revill in the booth as the Harbor Hawks still chasing one. Top of the third inning, one away. So our fly out to start the inning by the leadoff man, Cross, as that one is hit well to left field. Hardigan broke in, but now retreats and makes the catch. About 15 yards in front of the warning track for out number 2.
And that was almost a costly mistake there coming from Hardigan as he started coming in towards the infield, and then mid-stride he had to change directions and head back to his left, and that was just almost a crucial mistake there that could have been an extra base hit.
Andrew Baker still on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. One earned run. It was a solo shot by Jake Thompson, the Whitecap first baseman, back in inning number 2. Runner goes on the pitch, swing and a miss. The throw down to second by Hackenberg is into center field. Brown with a stolen base. He got a good jump, as we've seen that a couple times, Lincoln. Baker's having trouble holding runners on.
Yeah, he is, and that's just coming with just being this early in the season, just getting the nerves out of being in a new league, new place, just about finding that groove.
The 0-1 pitch misses outside for a ball. The count evens up at 1-1. And this is Jake Thompson for the second time tonight. He had that solo home run, which has been the difference in this game to this point. To right field over the head of Dominic Johnson and into the woods. The 1-1. Swinging for the downs again, but fouls it back straight off the netting. Count goes to 1-2.
The rain's starting to go away, but it's still coming down slightly.
Oh, don't jinx it.
Knock on wood here.
Next thing you know, it'll be downpouring.
Yeah. I seem to have a knack for whenever I say something, the opposite happens. Seem to have a knack for that.
1-2 pitch.
Beautiful.
Both Hackenberg and Baker thought they had it. This backdoor slider kind of broke in there, and I think we thought he might have had it.
Oh, that was a beautiful pitch. I was sure that was strike 3 right down the heart of the plate. I guess it might have been a little bit low, but just a beautiful pitch there.
Tough one to take, but Thompson, the 2-2, reaches out and fouls it away off towards the parking lot. Did evade hitting some cars, though, luckily, for the fans in attendance.
Somebody keep an eye on the away broadcasters. I'm anticipating they might come up here and just be like, hey, the internet's down. You look all right now, somewhat.
2-2, 2 away in the inning. Jake Thompson still fighting at the dish. 1 run, 1 hit for Brewster so far. The 2-2 popped up down the third baseline, but too far out of play for Mason Greer as it drops safely for Thompson to stay alive. Good action in the Harbor Hawk bullpen as a left-hander's getting loose. Andrew Baker into his 3rd inning of work here.
Give me just a couple minutes. I'll see who that pitcher is out in the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks.
4 strikeouts on the day by Andrew Baker. The mound getting a little slippery, it looks like, as he stomps the dirt back into place. Brown gets his lead at second base. The 2-2. Ground ball to short. Nice diving play by Ball. To his feet. The throw to first is picked by Pujols to end the inning. A sensational play by Kyle Ball as the Brewster Whitecaps strand 1. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Hyannis chasing 1. Back here from Hyannis once again. Some technical difficulties again. We'll try it again. A little bit of a power issue going on with the weather.
Yeah, this is our first rainy game, so we're having to take the punches and roll with them pretty much.
We do apologize for the stream going down, but we do have it back up here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. Dominic Johnson led off the inning with a walk for Hyannis. You see him over there at first base. And our number 6 black helmet, the black hand guard that a lot of guys use now to help them with sliding into the second base or third. Mariano Ricciardi at the plate now for the first time in this game. He takes a healthy hack at that fastball but can't connect and is now behind in the count 0-2. Rutkowski back on the hill here for his third inning of work. He's been pretty effective so far. 4 strikeouts. Runner goes. Throw down to second is in time, and Dominic Johnson is caught stealing. And a quick out number 1 just like that.
That was a great throw from Byrne. A little bit high, but it was on the right side, and that was just the perfect spot for Freeland to grab that ball and bring the swipe down and get Johnson before he could touch the bag.
The 1-2. Hit down the left field line. This one is towards the corner. It's going to drop for a base hit. Ricciardi takes a big turn. He's on his way to second. The throw in from left field is not in time, and it's a 1-out double for Mariano Ricciardi. Nice piece of hitting going inside out to the opposite field for the second baseman.
Yeah, it was a beautiful hit, and you have to be disappointed if you're the Harbor Hawks. You could have had a runner on second, and that would have tied the game had Johnson slid safely on that stolen base, but instead just a runner on second now. And another chance for a run, but you have to wonder what would have happened if Johnson would have been at second base.
See if Caden Rose can pick him up now with Ricciardi at second, 1 away in the inning. Rose grounded out to short in his first at-bat in the bottom of the first inning for Hyannis, the leadoff man in today's ball game. The leadoff man for the last 2 ball games, Ricciardi, is on second base. Rose swinging at the first pitch and pops it out of play down the right field line.
Remember, fans, thanks to Marc and family, you can keep that foul ball tonight.
Rutkowski has been effective in this outing. First hit was just allowed. That was to Ricciardi on the double.
And that first hit took a little while longer to get than we would have liked, but hey, better late than never, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And really, it's not even that late, just a little bit later than ideally you would want it to be.
Count 1-1 to Caden Rose, the shortstop. Outfielder combo. He's played a little bit of both, but just outfield so far for Hyannis. Gets the start in center field today. He attended Bob Jones High School. Was a top-ranked shortstop in Alabama. Third-rated player overall by Prep Baseball Report at his time at Bob Jones.
Got a little bit of a resume there for Rose.
And he attends the University of Alabama, so a decorated athlete here on the Harbor Hawks roster. The 1-1 takes high for a ball at 90 miles per hour on the fastball. 2-1 the count. Rain and wind continues to be upon us here in Hyannis. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill on the call. We'll hear from Taylor Farmer in just a moment.
Like you mentioned, rain still coming down. It's slowed down since it started, but it's still going.
Ground ball to short. It hits Ricciardi, so he's going to be ruled out. Tough play there for the Harbor Hawks. Rose is going to be safe at first, but the ball struck Ricciardi on his way from second to third and goes down as a fielder's choice, but a hit for Caden Rose. Just a fielder's choice officially on the play. Fielder's choice due to the out. Ball 1 there to Mitchell Hardigan as he digs in for the second time in the ball game. Hardigan struck out in inning number 1. Was in the 3-hole in yesterday's contest, now batting second for the Harbor Hawks. Pickoff move to first, but Rose is back standing. The 1-0. Called strike on the outside corner. Rutkowski does a good job locating that fastball for sure.
Yeah, it does. He's been able to find that outside corner. Both pitchers tonight doing a good job of finding that outside corner, really working both sides of the plate tonight.
Pickoff move to first. Rose back diving this time. Good stop by Jake Thompson, the first baseman. Adam Hackenberg, the catcher, on deck. 2 away in the inning. Hardigan looking to keep the inning alive, rather. We saw Dominic Johnson reach on a walk. He was then caught stealing. Ricciardi doubled. He was then ruled out after the ball struck him running from second to third. Caden Rhodes was able to reach base on that play, which brings us here with 2 away. The count 1-1 to Mitchell Hardigan, the Florida Atlantic outfielder. 2 for 9 coming into the game, 2 for 10 now on the year, with the first at-bat in the game as Rutkowski having some trouble getting on the same page with Byrne. Shook him off a couple times, and now they will have a conference at the mound. Fans, Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including fifth-year master's programs at www.curry.edu.
You know, you always do such a good job with these reads.
Thank you.
You're it sounded very nice, very
Okay,
nice.
I appreciate that. I think given the current circumstances, a little bit tough to,
Yeah,
to
definitely.
read off. The binder's not too wet, luckily.
I got a little wet at first. I was covering the mixer here with it, and then we got these handy-dandy. I got a sign you have a bin cover
I do.
shielding everything.
We're doing our best here.
And we just got word that the hit from Caden Rose that was labeled as a fielder's choice has been changed to a hit.
Hardigan taps that one back to Rutkowski on the mound. The throw to first in time. The Harbor Hawks had a couple chances, but they weren't able to capitalize. Been a good pitching duel so far in this game. We saw the nice start so far from Baker and Rutkowski. Taylor Farmer has more on this pitching duel between the two teams. Taylor.
Thanks, Austin. Both of you mentioned earlier that it was going to be a battle of the pitchers, and I believe that to be true with Baker on the mound. The first inning, impressive, 3 up, 3 down. He did allow 1 run in the second, but I feel like he kept his composure well. I spoke with Coach Calhoun following last night's win, who said, obviously we have some arms. I feel like the 3 of us could all agree that we've seen some good arms so far, and we'll see what Baker can do here going into the top of the 4th.
Thank you very much, Taylor, and we definitely can agree that this team has some arms. There's a lot of talent, Lincoln, we've seen so far. We've seen a lot of different guys mixed in. Halverson on opening day going 3 innings. Halamanu yesterday for 3. That seems to be the typical kind of plan here for the starting pitchers, at least the first time through, is go 3 innings for the starters.
Yes, especially this early in the season. A new coach, especially for the Harbor Hawks. You want to be able to know where your players stand, what they can do, and really you want to get everybody some playing time this first time around and then figure out who your better players are and sort of weed out the starters in this first little series of games.
Harbor Hawks going with a left-handed pitcher, Evan Webster, to start this top of the 4th inning. The line is complete on the day for Baker as he goes 3 innings. 1 runner allowed on 2 hits. Was pretty effective overall, Lincoln, as we just mentioned. So now Webster will look to continue Baker's success. Webster, the 6'4" left-hander from Louisville.
And the rain's starting to take its toll. Dirt starting to look like mud in some spots on the field.
That's where it starts to get stuck in the players' cleats a lot. See how they battle through that. Maybe slows you down a little bit on the base paths.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, like I said before, it's something that the scouts love to see. Well, I don't think anybody loves to see a rainy baseball game, but it's helpful to see which players can adapt well to the rain and which ones can still play at the top of their game, even in wet conditions.
5, 6, 7 due up for the Whitecaps to start things off for the top of the fourth inning. It's Weiss, Schiekhofer, and Biddison. Cooper Weiss walked in his first at-bat. That was in, or first plate appearance, I should say, in the second inning. He was stranded at third base. Evan Webster getting ready for his first pitch of the 2021 Cape League season. And it misses outside for a ball, but he's got some life to that fastball. We'll get you the read on his mile per hour when we get it on the scoreboard out in right center here at Scarafile Field. The 1-0. Healthy hack at the off-speed pitch below the knee. 1-1, the count evens up.
Yeah, the velocity not up along with Baker, but still he's bringing it in there, and it's just a very good speed coming in from Webster.
Tried to drop a bunt down the third baseline, but instead it goes foul to bring the count to 1-2. Webster pitched in 5 games in 2020 before that season was halted due to the pandemic. Allowed just 1 run over 8 2/3 in that 2020 season, so a solid start in 2020 before that season was canceled. We saw a lot of guys have a pretty solid and effective start to their 2020 campaigns, but obviously this pandemic reared its ugly head and ended up putting a halt to that season. So it's a different summer for these guys because they didn't have summer ball last summer.
Yeah, definitely. And there were a couple of summer leagues that were like spread around the country. But yeah, a vast majority of all of the leagues did not play. And so it's been a while since any of these players have been playing summer ball.
Webster introduces himself to Hyannis with a strikeout by retiring Weiss, an impressive first at-bat, and now he'll be greeted by Schiekhofer. The right fielder also walked back in the second inning, but he was left stranded at second base. He'll try to drop a bunt, but pull it back. It's a called strike, 87 on the gun.
Schiekhofer still looking for that first hit of the season, 0 for 5 so far. He did find base today, but still looking for that all-important first hit.
The 0-1 pitch from Webster. Called strike, 0-2. Webster efficient so far in his 2021 debut. The 0-2 down the left field line off towards the parking lot. No cars on that half of it, luckily.
Austin, now that you mentioned it, I did park my car far away, but I'm still scared that a ball will somehow find its way to my car.
Well, you had the one last season you said that found you on opening day.
Yeah, that was right down the first baseline, though. That was a stupid decision of me.
Kind of asking for it, putting it right there in harm's way, right?
Exactly, yeah. It was a tall barrier, so I figured, okay, no foul ball is going to reach. It would have to be an impossible angle to find it, but somehow one found it.
Now Webster has retired the first 2 batters he's faced with the strikeout. Looking to make it 3 in a row as Biddison digs in for the second time in the ballgame. Grounded into a fielder's choice as he was retired. Headed over to Ricciardi at second. Webster misses with the ball. The 1-0 pitch. Called strike, 1-1.
Just want to take some time, get some scores around the Cape Cod League. Bourne and Cotuit currently battling it out. Cotuit has a 5-3 lead in the 5th, but that game is currently delayed. The Whitey Red Sox and the Chatham Anglers in a 3-2 game in the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox lead. As we know, Brewster and Hyannis. Brewster currently leads 1-0 here in the top of the 4th. And Wareham and Falmouth has not started yet. Orleans and Harwich currently tied at 0-0. Scoreless game in the top of the 3rd.
Good action all around the Cape League once again, Lincoln, as Biddison lines one into left field for a base hit, a 2-out single. Extends the inning, another batter for the Whitecaps.
The next batter for the Whitecaps, the catcher from Texas Christian, and 36 Curtis.
That'll bring in Curtis Byrne for the second time in the ball game. He went down looking on strikes in the second inning. 2 away here. You got to watch Biddison's speed over there. With 7 for 8 on stolen bases in the collegiate season at Virginia Tech, he can definitely run. Long pause from Webster, the pitch. Misses high for a ball, 1-0. Hackenberg still behind the dish for the Harbor Hawks.
Rain has gotten a little bit harder, but it's still not terrible yet.
Picking up a bit as the flag starts to dance around more in right center, moving left to right towards the scoreboard. Healthy hack, but can't connect on the fastball up in the zone. 1-1, the count evens up to the catcher. For the Whitecaps, Brewster's team crowded in the first base dugout as the bullpen retreated. Most of the Hyannis guys are also in the dugout on the third base side. A few remaining relievers out in that bullpen.
All of them have their hoods up, wearing those Hyannis jackets.
2-1 is the count. Webster's been pretty good here in his first inning of work, especially given the conditions. He's coming in for the first time in a ball game in the summer with rain and wind, and he's been effective. Biddison dancing at first, the pitch. Nice fastball in the upper part of the zone. And Byrne can't connect again. 2-2, the count evens up. Infield remains the same, as does the outfield for the Harbor Hawks, with the initial starting lineup still out there. We saw our Andrew Baker go 3 strong innings, allowing just 1 home run on the solo shot from Whitecap first baseman Jake Thompson. The 2-2 runner goes, and that's pop foul out of play. As Byrne stays alive at least 1 more pitch, and Biddison will have to retreat to first to start again.
Yeah, we're still looking for that first caught base stealer for the Harbor Hawks, and
as mentioned, Biddison had the stolen base in yesterday's ball game for the Whitecaps. Harbor Hawks, as you said, Lincoln, looking to keep him at bay over there.
Yeah, it's a well-anticipated moment.
Ground ball back to the pitcher, Webster. He flips on to Pujols covering at first, and the inning is over. Whitecaps strand 1. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Harbor Hawks chasing 1 run. Ready to go here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Clemson catcher, Adam Hackenberg, digging in for the second time in this game. Austin DeCouta with Lincoln Revill welcoming you back as the rain continues to fall in Hyannis. Starting to pick up once more as we have our protective bins over all the broadcast equipment up here. The players tucked away in the dugouts, and a lot of fans with their umbrellas and jackets on now. Hackenberg making his first start today for the Harbor Hawks, his second appearance as he came in yesterday's ball game. He struck out in his first at-bat today, back in inning number 1. The pitch. Cut on and miss. 1-1, the count evens up.
He was looking to take that one to the fence. That was a big swing.
Chasing 1, rain's starting to fall. You might be looking at a shortened ball game, so you got to do what you can.
Only got to get through the 5th inning for it to be registered, so if they do end up calling this after the 5th, the Harbor Hawks have to get going here, get some hits.
Absolutely, and it starts here with the meat of the order up 3-4-5. Hackenberg, Greer, and Pujols to do up for Hyannis. Rutkowski back on the mound for another inning of work. Lincoln, he's been really efficient so far on the mound for the Whitecaps.
He has, and he's actually gone a lot further than we've seen a majority of pitchers so far. He's in his 4th inning of work. Most of them don't last past 3.
Hackenberg can't connect there on a pitch in the dirt. He thought he tipped it, but home plate umpire Jeff Kinney says no. That's out number 1.
Yeah, nothing's more frustrating than feeling a foul tip, but the umpire disagrees. I will say it's harder than it seems for the umpire to hear that foul tip sometimes.
It's got the rain too, a lot going on. It's windy rain too. I mean, clouding his vision a bit. Hard to see from up here as well. Mason Greer digging in from McLennan Community College down there in Texas, Lincoln.
He is. I drive past MCC all the time. Used to play a lot of tennis tournaments back just down the road from MCC, actually.
How far is that from Houston, roughly?
Oh, boy.
Or Dallas, one of the major cities down there.
Dallas, probably about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, somewhere in there.
Everything seems pretty far apart when you put it in perspective down there compared to up here when you can get to, Boston in an hour and a half from the Cape.
Oh, yeah, you can drive. One of the crazy things is that you can drive from Texarkana and get to El Paso. It takes about, and you'll be driving for 12 hours and you'll still be in Texas. It's that big.
I can't say that's something that happens in Massachusetts. Even with Boston or Cape traffic, you're still going to be out of the state within 12 hours.
Well, there's an interesting fact, actually. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's a ranch actually down in Texas called the King Ranch. Mm-hmm. It's that ranch alone is bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island.
I did not know that. That is insane when you put that into perspective.
It's huge. I drove through Rhode Island on my way up here, actually, and drove for probably an hour still in Rhode Island, and it was just amazing how big that ranch is.
Has to be a tourist attraction of some sorts maybe down there?
Most likely. I've never been myself. I'm not actually 100% sure where it is, but I do know that it is massive.
Rain continues to pick up here from Hyannis. You get a shot of Judy Walden's Scarefile Field at McKeon Park. We see Mason Greer battling now as he's in a full count with 1 away, as Rutkowski having trouble gripping the baseball as it continues to just get soaked out there.
Yeah, and this is where you really find out who the good pitchers will be for these scouts, who can adapt to that wet ball and wet conditions.
But a handful of scouts braving the weather as Greer draws a walk, and the Harbor Hawks got a base runner as they look to push a run across before this game could be in jeopardy with the rain.
Yeah, it could. You have to start worrying. Like if it was this kind of rain for maybe 20 minutes, then we'd be perfectly fine. But seeing as it's continuous and it doesn't show signs of stopping anytime soon, we could be in for a very short game.
Pujols digs in as he first pitch swinging. That one goes over the left field bleachers and out of play behind the count. Wearing number 31 this year with Hyannis.
Pujols still waiting for his first hit. He's actually 0 for 4. He went 0 for 4 last night. And I have to say, I think when Pujols gets that first hit, it's going to be a huge hit. I'm calling it now. I know I've been wrong many, many times this season, but I'm calling it now. This is going to be my first one that's right.
He had 12 homers at Dayton last season. He's got a lot of power. A guy with a ton of pop to the opposite field as well does Pujols. In batting practice, we see him hit to all fields. He was actually named to the ABCA Rawlings East All-Region second team thanks to his successful season with Dayton, recently announced a few days ago. Pickoff move to first. Greer got stuck in the mud for a second, but gets back safely.
And for Pujols, having such a successful year at the plate, really you can see why he was named to that all-team.
The 0-1. Pujols can't catch up to the fastball, and he's behind 0-2 as Rutkowski continues to battle through this Harbor Hawk lineup with Lincoln no action in the Whitecap bullpen.
No, there's no action, and I can't blame them. They have the mound tarped out there. I think that if they do end up making a pitching change anytime soon, that new pitcher is going to be cold.
And he's rolling. Rutkowski pitching really well. Slider misses outside for a ball. 1-2, tried to get him chasing. Pujols has good discipline at the plate as well. He struck out a couple times this season, but those are on pitches in the zone for the most part.
Yeah, that's something you've seen from really the whole Harbor Hawk roster. They lots of discipline at the plate, being able to pick out, even on those close pitches, pick out which ones are in the zone and out of the zone. It's a very good trait to have at the plate.
Long pause from Rutkowski. The 1-2 pitch. Outside in the right-handed hitter's batting box for ball 2 to even the count. Hawks need a run. Chasing 1 thanks to the solo shot from Jake Thompson back in inning number 2. Andrew Baker got the start, the right-hander from Chipola, who's a signee of South Carolina. Struck out the side in the first. Allowed the 1 run in inning number 2 and pitched a scoreless third. He just turned it over to Evan Webster, who you saw in the top half of this inning, who fired a scoreless inning. And Harrison Rutkowski still on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps into his 4th inning of work. He's gone full count now on back-to-back batters. Pujols looking to do some damage. The 3-2 taken for a ball, back-to-back walks. He's having some trouble gripping the baseball, it seems, and that's going to prompt a mound visit.
Yeah, just an awesome at bat there from Pujols. Absolutely superb bit of eyes on him as he came back. He was down at 1 ball and 2 strikes earlier, and just he fought back, able to watch 3 balls go by, and he's now on base.
And we're going to have a little discussion, I believe, as Rutkowski having a tough time gripping the ball, mud in the cleats as well, and I don't think that they want to continue this ball game. Zane Harris heading back to the on-deck circle for a moment.
Yeah, and the raindrops outside starting to get a little bigger than they have been, and starting to be noticeable rain coming down now. I think we're going to go to a delay here.
Have a little bit of a conference with the umpires and managers at the mound as it's a little bit muddy, maybe looking for the grounds crew. Harbor Hawks manager Gary Calhoun going to come join the conference as the rain picks up even more here in Hyannis. You can start to hear the rain. That's when you know it's raining a little bit harder.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you didn't want to happen. And it seems
go.
it's happened again. You know, I said earlier, hopefully it doesn't start raining harder. And you know what? It rains harder.
You can't just ignore it. It's happening. We'll mention it, but we don't want to predict or think what might happen.
Yeah, I got to get better at that. I seem to do that a lot, and it always turns out bad for me.
Lincoln, we talked about, after last night's win, Gary Calhoun, the Harbor Hawks manager, picking up his first win in the Cape Cod Baseball League, as this is his first year with the team here in 2021. It was an important win for him, and it's a big win to get it over Catuit, the rival in the Western Division.
Yeah, definitely, and that first win, definitely a big milestone for Coach Calhoun, and hopefully it's the first of many this season, especially in that Patriot Cup, as they're just 3 games away from clinching that cup over the Kettleers. And, yep, they're going to go to delay.
All right, folks, well, it's going to be a rain delay here from Hyannis as the rain continues to fall. We'll update you on our Harbor Hawks social media pages when the game resumes, but keep it locked here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network for more info. We're still here, folks, at McKeon Park in Hyannis, Austin, DeCouta, and Lincoln Revill. We got the dugouts playing a little bit of back and forth games as they try to get shelter. We're in a 30-minute rain delay hold, so we'll keep you updated here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network as well as the Harbor Hawk social media pages. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll have an update in a little while for you. Hello, folks. Thank you for sticking with us here on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. Unfortunately, the game has been canceled due to weather. We thank you for tuning in tonight. We are back in action tomorrow night as the Harbor Hawks hit the road as we have a 6:30 first pitch tomorrow night in Harwich. So for Lincoln, Revill, Taylor, Farmer, our producers, Matt and Harrison, I'm Austin DeCouta saying so long from Hyannis. We'll see you tomorrow night.